Hey guys, welcome back to Slam Dunk Central. Today we'll present to you 8 more lies that NBA fans still believe to this day. Let's head into it. Number 8. Game 6 of the 2002 NBA Western Conference Finals. The theory, with the Sacramento Kings leading the Lakers 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals, David Stern ordered the officiating crew to take every possible measure to ensure the Lakers won. Why people think it's true: the Kings are a small market, the Lakers are one of the NBA's premier franchises. The Kings in the finals means low ratings, the Lakers in the finals means big ratings. And as for Game 6 specifically, anyone who saw the contest, even Lakers homers, would admit that the officiating down the stretch was incredibly biased in favor of Los Angeles. Additionally, former NBA official Tim Donaghy has claimed that he was told by an official who worked Game 6 that it was rigged. Why it's false. There are a lot of good hints that this theory might be true, but we can't imagine the good old Stern to do such a horrible thing. Number 7. Janet Jones gambling patsy. The theory: Phoenix Coyotes assistant Rick Tocchet ran a large nationwide sports gambling ring, and Janet Jones, the wife of Wayne Gretzky, who was Phoenix's head coach at the time, was implicated as a major client, but Gretzky was not. Jones took the fall for her husband. Why people think it's true: it's hard to believe that Tocchet was running a gambling ring as a side job and taking huge bets from his boss's wife, and that Gretzky knew nothing about any of it. It also makes sense that Jones would take the fall, because her husband's image is more important to their long-term financial well-being. Why it's false. Wives try to keep things quiet from their husbands all the time. Just ask Cal Ripken's wife, theoretically. Number 6. Spygate's cover-up. The theory: after the Patriots were busted for filming their opponent's signals and practices, Commissioner Roger Goodell destroyed all the Spygate evidence because New England's cheating program was much larger than the public knew. Why people think it's true: when the program was uncovered, Goodell asked the Patriots to turn over all of their illegal tapes and documents, trusting them to do so, despite there being no reason to trust them. Then less than 2 weeks later, Goodell had all of the evidence destroyed, explaining his reasoning. It was the right thing to do. That's vague. Maybe it was an attempt to quickly and tidily move past the fact that the winner of the 3 recent Super Bowls had cheated their way to championships. Why it's false. To pull off a legit conspiracy, you have to be pretty smart, whereas Goodell is an established moron. Destroying the Spygate evidence and continuing to trust the Patriots weren't the actions of a conspirator, they were the actions of someone with a very low Goodellian IQ. Number 5. Ali Liston 2's Phantom Punch. The theory: Sonny Liston took a dive and was knocked out by a phantom punch from Ali midway through the first round of their 1965 rematch. Why people think it's true. There were rumors that Liston had run up to major gambling debts to the mafia, so he may have bet against himself in the fight and then lost on purpose to make back what he owed. Also, footage of the Ali jab that floored Liston shows that it barely connected. Why it's false. It was a punch that barely connected, yet it connected, and it was thrown by Muhammad Ali. The average person took a glancing blow from 1965 Muhammad Ali, they would not only be knocked out, they would be decapitated. Number 4. Cal Ripken and the Baltimore power outage. The theory: Cal Ripken and his wife have long been friends with Kevin Costner. In August 1997, while Ripken's consecutive game streak was still intact, Costner was staying at their residence. Cal left for that night's Orioles game, but then came back to the house because he forgot something and walked in on his wife having sex with Costner. Ripken called Orioles owner Peter Angelos to tell him he wouldn't be able to play, and Angelos knocked out the power to the stadium. Why people think it's true. Ripken's streak sold a ton of tickets to the Orioles, and it's not inconceivable that Angelos took drastic measures to keep it alive. Why it might be false. Kevin Costner? Unless Mrs. Ripken has terrible taste in movies, there's almost no way she slept with Kevin Costner. Oh, and everyone claims Ripken was at the stadium and in uniform that night the power mysteriously went out. But that's besides the main point, which is, of course, Kevin Costner sucks at acting. Number 3. Curt Schilling and the bloody sock. The theory: pitching against the Yankees in Game 6 of the 2004 ALCS. Red Sox starter Curt Schilling put ketchup or red paint on the sock covering his injured ankle to give him an excuse if he pitched poorly, or make himself a hero if he did well. Why people think it's true. Schilling so loved attention and sought to self-mythologize himself at every turn. Perhaps the theory isn't so absurd. It gained more traction in 2007 when veteran broadcaster Gary Thorne said Boston catcher Doug Mirabelli had admitted that Schilling's sock didn't have blood on it before backing away from the claim. Why it's false. Have you seen what Curt Schilling writes on Twitter? He's not smart enough to pull something like this off. It's surprising he's smart enough to pull on socks. Number 2. Michael Jordan's secret NBA suspension. The theory: in light of Michael Jordan's 6-figure gambling, which may have included bets on NBA games, NBA Commissioner David Stern suspended Jordan for the 1993-1994 season. But in order not to sully the name of the league's biggest ticket and bring increased scrutiny to the NBA, Stern allowed Jordan to say he was retiring to try baseball. Why people think it's true. true. Jordan's casino gambling during the previous season's playoffs had drawn attention that Stern did not care for, and sports superstars don't usually quit the game they love at age 30 to try a sport they haven't played since age 12. Why it's false. Jordan was at the peak of his career and seen as an athlete with no rival. By choosing baseball over a suspension, he was seen as an athlete who could easily be K'd by AA pitchers with 84 miles per hour fastballs. Which is to say, you can make the case that playing baseball hurt his image more than the suspension would have. If there's any Jordan-related conspiracy, is that he sold his soul to Satan before his North Carolina career, and then, in exchange, he had to humiliate himself on the Wizards for 2 years and grow a mustache, suggesting his support for Hitler. Number 1. David Stern and the Frozen Envelope. The theory: before the 1985 NBA Draft Lottery, Stern, perhaps along with other top NBA executives, had the envelope containing the Knicks card frozen so Stern wouldn't have to feel it by touch, handing the number 1 overall pick and Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. Why people think it's true. The NBA has long wanted the big market Knicks to be good. Stern is a New York native, the team was in the toilet at the time, and Patrick Ewing was the most desired rookie to come along in years. Plus, Stern has never struck anyone as the most ethical fellow. Why it's false. If David Stern was in the business of rigging things so the Knicks would be good, he would have had James Dolan and Isaiah Thomas killed years ago. What do you think about these lies? Did you actually believe them? Let us know in the comment section. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.